fashion retail, it's not just making a design that's great. It's figuring out wholesale margins, adding in the cost of packaging, shipping, taxes, tariff, and making sure your profit margin will keep your business afloat. You need to be creative and analytical. So, but before we sizzle these local enterprise heroes, I would like to give each of them the floor to briefly introduce themselves, their brands, their startup, to the audience, in case some of you do not know, which I consider a scene because this guy is quite prominent in this industry. So perhaps we can start with, starting with Steve.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Ng from Cars. Okay, let me introduce our brand to you. Cuffs is conceptualized or inspired in Jermyn Street, London. If any one of you knows that, it's actually popular for suiting, shirtings, and we started off Cuffs about 8 years ago, and we are the largest purveyor of cufflinks in Malaysia, and we also would claim the world. And start off really small in Bangsa, and from then we currently operate 5 stores in Malaysia, and we have also 3 shops in China. And these are our store locations. In case you have missed us, we're in Wanutama, Great Eastern Mall, we're in Robinsons, Bangsa Village, and Bangsa Shopping Centre. Okay, and do we have slides now? Yeah, that's it. No. Okay, our products or our collection, it's mainly catered for young executives. Our main product is cufflinks, shirts, but nevertheless, we do have all the complementary products, all the complementary accessories like belts, leather goods, and jackets and trousers as well. So that's about Klaus. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Steve. I would like to pass the floor next to Say Rashid to talk a little bit about Tempatan Fest.
Okay.
Hello. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Okay. My name is Nasir. Actually, people call me Say. This is when I was the editor for a magazine, business magazine called Rizki. I have like 15 years of journalism background. So the last position I had is editor for a magazine, which is inspired me to do a business because I interviewed so many people, successful businessmen. So I think I can do like them. Okay. How to do this? So sorry.
No problem.
I think I pushed the wrong button. Okay, the Tempatan Fest is based in Singapore. We had one office in Lakeville, Singapore. Okay, we started as a brand as Achtung. Achtung is a German word for a warning, which is I wear now. This is our t-shirts. The sweatshirt. That's the first event that we did in Jalan Kiapeng. Only 34 brands from local. I mean, what I've seen before that is actually I've seen potential of local designers, local brand in the streetwear culture. So I think they have a very good potential to be brought up into the open, into the masses. So this is the first that we did in March 2013. At our shop, at our pop-up store in Jalan Kiapeng, which is actually a 310 and a very open kind of pop-up store. Okay, it's a very it's just nearby the KLCC there, but it's very remote. So the thing that I need to drive the crowd to the place, so we did at the Thailand Fest. But when we did the Thailand Fest, we already put 1.0 because we have seen we have the projection that we want to do more after that. So that's the first year. First year we did 4 events within 1 year. The 2.0 is after a couple of months, and then 3.0. The biggest one is this. The 3.0. We have like 140 brands, I think. 140 brands. And then the crowd is like 40,000. And then most of the brands are, they sold out the stuff. Besides that, we did also a tempatan workshop, the sharing session between, we called up the brands, so they had a very good session, sharing session about marketing, about design. So the last one that we did for 2013 actually is a 3.5. 3.5 because we already engaged with Johor location in the 2014. So the best way is put 3.5. Okay, the second year is we started with JB, and then Seremban, and then Kuantan and KL, and then Ipoh, and then Penang. And then we call it Tempatan Fest Tour 2014. Besides that, we have a Tempatan Cafe, which actually F&B for Tempatan brands. So this one, every location that we went, all over Malaysia, 1 minute. The crowd is very strong. And then, this is all the logo that we created. We really focused it on aesthetic, but we empower the designers, new young designers. So we saw so many designers, so many entrepreneurs that actually come up. So this is the next year plan. We will do a Tempatan Fest Roots Tour, we call it. Okay, this one is also the Kuantan for next year, and then this one is this is the last one for this year, TFX, which is a TF Tempatan Fest 10. So these are all the design. Okay, see you in Tempatan Fest 10, 27 and 28 December at Stadium Malawati Courtyard in Shah Alam. Please come. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sir. Next up, we have Tengku Syami from T Syami.
Hi guys. Maybe I should stand here. My name is Tengku Syami. I'm actually 24 years old, and I'm a fashion designer and also the creative director for my own brand called T Syami. Let me just start the slide. So basically, I've been in the fashion industry for 6 years, basically freelancing before this and also working for a local fashion label as well. So now, I'm the creative director for my own company, T Syami. So it's been established since 2013, and our main focus is women's ready-to-wear, and we're also interested to venture into men's. And as you can see, what I'm wearing here is what we produce for one of our 2014 collection, being it's one of our seasonal Raya collections that we do yearly. So, and also we like to collaborate with other creative entities locally to enhance our products in any way, like marketing wise or in terms of designs or anything to do with the product. And we have produced almost up to three collections so far, and we are currently stocked on Fashion Valet online retail website, and also setting up our HQ based office/showroom. And one of our brand taglines is sophistication at its simplest form. So we apply that to our products and to our designs. Shall move to the next slide. So this is one of the products of our collaborations with one of the local creative entities, Entropy Studios, for our latest collection that we showcased in KL Fashion Week this year in Pavilion in June. It's our Fall/Winter 2014 collection. So this is the video teaser. Oh. Let's play.
We began.
So this collection was showcased during KL Fashion Week 2014 in Pavilion.
Love blossoms
It's
like a
our
flower
Fall/Winter
in its right
2014
time.
collection. And we also collaborated with this local tie-dye company. It's called Jabu Tie-Dye to create our own unique fabrics and our own unique tie-dye prints. So this is just another way of marketing and showing our products in a more engaging and interactive way to our consumers. Enjoy.
We almost wish it was never late.
Current velocity 35,570 feet per second. Altitude 177. Right. Okay, Roger, coming out.
A light shines in the darkness.
And our collection for Fall/Winter is open for custom orders, if there are any interested orders. Thank you. So this is some of our press coverage that we got from our Fall/Winter collection, as well as for our 2014 collection from print and also from online, just as some examples to show you guys. So for the next, we are currently working on our next Raya collection, which is 2015, which will be released the first quarter of next year. And if you have any inquiries or any questions, you can email us at hello@tishami.com. And please don't forget to like us on Facebook and also follow us on Instagram for future updates. And if we have time, I think we do. This is our 2014 video teaser, which was actually our breakthrough collection because the video itself reached 16,000 views online and the collection sold out. So it was also a breakthrough collection because we figured out what's our design direction is going to be like in the future. So enjoy. So our 2014 collection, thank you, whether you guys like it. Our 2014 collection was exclusively up for pre-order at fashionvalue.com. And as you can see from the video, it was more of interpreting the morning Raya day in the morning where it's all about family and taking that family photo. And of course, we had to do it by everyone wearing our products to showcase that, it's not just for a certain type of people, but it's also for everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Takushami. I'm really curious who's the videographers behind that awesome videos, right?
He's apparently here.
Alright, okay, don't disclose to the others. Just among us. Yeah, so next up we have Hugo from Pastel and Moda. I'm pretty sure it's a brand name that's very familiar among youth nowadays. So, Hugh?
What's up, guys? My name is Hugh from Festival Moda. I actually prepared like a 30-minute speech because I didn't get the memo, or I didn't read it. But I'm just gonna like skim through really quick. First up, I just want to show you guys like a quick 2-minute video. If you guys have not heard about this and have no idea what we're all about, then this video pretty much explain it. Oops, what happened? Did you press anything? Can you forward it there? Can you just go back to that one? Is that possible? Thank you. That is alright. Okay, you know what? Okay, no worries. All good. So, yeah, this is me. This is me. I'm the sort of person, sort of growing up, I hated studies. I was a dreamer. In school, I got tied to the school chair for walking around way too much and speaking to people. I was the sort of person where I loved art. That was something that I really enjoyed, and I used to sort of draw heaps of photos. Like drawings, and not listen to the teacher. So maybe down the track, I actually did architecture. That's what I studied. That's what I practiced for a while. But what I realized was that fashion was what I actually really enjoyed. And Pastel Moda was pretty much started as a hobby, something that we just wanted to do for fun. So I'm just going to skim through a few slides. So a quick introduction about myself. Yeah, the early days, I already spoke about it. This is the Power 5. This is pretty much our first collection that we came up with. It's actually called KL Through Our Eyes. I think, you know, like Alex said just now concerning like the book, like finding something that is going to set yourself apart from everyone else. So, you know, for us, when it's like Pastel Moda was initially started by 3 co-founders, myself, Arthur and Arnold, and then down the track, Eddie and Mark came aboard. So now we're a team of 5 partners. But back then, I still remember daydreaming when we actually sat down for a drink, we wanted to start the brand. We said, okay, you know what? What's going to set us apart from like the other thousands of brands out there? And straight away we thought, hey, you know, we're Malaysian. You know, that's something that what we know, we can't lie about that. It's something that we sort of grew up knowing, and we decided to talk about it. So, and none of us actually came from like a design background, so none of us could actually draw. I was probably the best, but I was pretty rubbish as well. But all of us could take photos. So back in the day, you know, everyone, you know, with the iPhones and everyone could take photos. So what we actually decided to do was to showcase Malaysian culture onto t-shirts using photographs. So like, the first one, that's Lorong Haji Taib. If you guys don't know, Lorong Haji Taib, the reason it's upside down because everyone there is upside down. You sell drugs, you got heaps of like bubbles and all that sort of thing, you know? And then of course that's the iconic Indomie that all of us love to eat. So we decided, you know, to sort of showcase that onto t-shirts, the KL flats, the Coleman, and the Along. So this was our collection pretty much when we first started off. This is actually our first shop. Okay, me and Arthur used to sit at the shop. The shop is actually based in our bungalow that we were really lucky to work out from. And we kind of said, okay, you know what, let's sort of open up this space. Because when it comes to clothing, I think it's very important that people actually want to feel, you know. They want to feel, everyone's very particular these days. So they want to try it on and feel. So we said, you know what, let's sort of open up a room within the bungalow and have this shop. Me and Arthur used to sit there all the time, nobody came. We did it for like 5 months, okay? This is pretty much the team now. This is us. We're around 15 of us who work in the HQ. We have around 40 people, plus all our retail assistants and stuff. We have 7 stores now. This was we just threw this really, really big party. It's called Smashing Weekends. We had around 1,000 people there coming for our parties. We gave free booze. I think that's what sort of attracted them. We had great music acts and all that sort of thing. So that was actually great. And we use that a lot. We do a lot of on-ground events. We do a lot of social media marketing and stuff. Another thing what Pastel Motor has, we have something called a family. We actually have an ambassadorship program. Currently under our family, we got Faz Adili, who's a very talented fixed gear rider who was riding in Barcelona recently. We got Chef Nick, and we got Kenneth Ko, and we recently brought on board Fuad from Kyoto Protocol. So he's now a part of family. This is our shop. As I said, we currently have 5 stores, but this is our flagship. Something else that we slowly sort of ventured into is called Major Drop. It's a multi-label store. We have around 60, 70 international brands. So it's a new area we sort of ventured into. So you can check that out. We'll talk about it later. We also have a publication. It's called the DAC. It's quarterly issue. We currently distribute around 5,000 copies around Klang Valley, Singapore, Australia, and somewhere else. The next 12 months for us, we're looking at Agenda Trade Show in Vegas, hopefully, fingers crossed. So that's something that we're looking towards, and a lot more. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. 5 minutes or 6 minutes. Thanks.
Thanks, you. Awesome presentation there. So, folks, in between our panel discussion, if you have any questions to throw at any one of our featured speakers, just note them down on your paper or mobile device, because of course we will have a Q&A session. But before that, in between our panel discussion, I will open up the floor for random questions. Yeah. So before we get down to the boiling discussion, I would like to start with Hugh, since he's the last presenter. Let's start with something very basic. Each of your businesses cater to lifestyle, right? How do you determine your niche? I mean, do you guys feel that? I'm pretty sure each of you guys who are planning to run your own fashion label or your own design, you all know, okay, it's lifestyle, but how do you determine which niche should you guys go into, focus into? So I'll like to start with you. How do you guys determine?
I think the most important is actually, our biggest customers are ourselves. And we actually design for ourselves. That way you can't really go wrong, because pretty much, yeah, we know ourselves best. So a lot of times when it comes down to a lot of like creating a design, it's not only me who sort of sits down, even though I am the creative director, but everyone sits down from the office, all 15 of us. Even from the stores as well, we get all the retail assistants. By doing that, you're able to sort of create that community that everyone feels like they're a part of the brand. So we normally do it that way, sort of cater for ourselves first and cater for people like ourselves.
All right, so in short, correct me if I'm wrong, it's correct to say to start a company, you have to be with the right company.
Yeah, in a way, yes. But at the same time, I think don't try to do something just because it's a fad, just because it's something that you think it's cool or like it's like in fashion now. Because if you try too hard, I think that's where you'll fail. But when you actually know it, you know everything about it, then I don't think, it's all about sort of like have a reason behind everything that you do. I think that's the most important. Like a lot of people, we got a reason behind our name, we got a reason behind we try to find reasons behind everything. If not, we actually question ourselves and say, hey, okay, am I actually doing what I should be doing? So a lot of times, I think feedback as well is super important. Ask everyone what they think. Yeah.
All right, thanks. Speaking of name, we'll get to there. We'll get there. Pastel Mora, why? So yeah, Tengku Shabi.
Hello. For us, actually, for Tishabi, because I was freelancing before this, and then it was me and my business partner, Nanti Zainal. She was the one that actually pushed me to start my own label. So basically, at first, I was given the creative freedom to do whatever I want, which was a really bad idea. Because obviously, it did sold, but it didn't sold out. So from there, it was more about not being too ignorant and too into yourself and too confident in terms of your designs as well and your design aesthetics. So it's also about meeting somewhere in the middle of what the market actually wants are and what the markets are buying, what people are buying, and how you can meet in the middle in terms of your design aesthetics to what the market needs. So like for example, for us, our Raya was the breakthrough collection. So it was a really defining moment for us as a company and also as a brand that we finally figured out what our direction is basically.
All right. Thanks to Kuchami. For Sir, slightly different because Tempatan Fest is a platform for homegrown designers, right? Specifically T-shirts, right? So why choose this niche when it comes to apparel industry? Why T-shirts? Why not sneakers or caps or whatever?
They choose me. They choose me. I don't have the option to wear this that I wear now because this is the what we like to wear. Most of the kids nowadays they don't have options. They have options that they have whatever that we have in shopping complex, right? So we give the more option. That's where all the kids nowadays are lacking because they don't have many options. The option that close to their heart, close to their countries like pastel mortar. We can feel it when we see the pastel mortar T-shirts. It's Gunung Kinabalu, man. Right? Everyone knows it, even though it's in a graphic kind of presentations. So most of the kids nowadays they don't have much of a option, they don't have much of a pilihan lah, kedai-kedai. So we can give them more of some good stuff that still quality. We are trying to push ourselves to get that quality, even though that the resources are lacking, funding are lacking, but we are trying to get it somehow. That's what my thought of.
All right, thanks. And for Steve, your cuffs offer a wide range of cufflinks and also formal wear, right? So why choose that?
I think, like you have rightfully mentioned, you are your own customer first. So the founding partners of Cuffs, they were all bankers. So therefore, naturally, if you want to go into fashion, we go into executive wear, we go into formal wear. So, and when we put ourselves into customer shoes, or into our, like when we were bankers, we want to look for, we wear shirts every day, executive wear every day. We go for meetings, we want to look better, or we want to look better on certain days. But at that point in time, the options were either too expensive, or there weren't any at all. I mean, at the low end, there was not. I mean, nothing that was creative, nothing that was innovative, or nothing that was good enough for us. So we saw an empty space in terms of quality, in terms of pricing, and in terms of product. And it was the right time to actually fill in that space with a local brand, with something that we wanted ourselves.
All right, thanks. Now, again, my next question is...
I turn the mic off and on.
So, in fashion retail, your product lines need to adapt to season, right? So, how do you find out what's the next trend to satisfy market desire?
That's when the merchandiser, the creative director comes into play. Firstly, we have to do a lot of research on the colors and what will be the next big colors. That these are all prediction. So the more accurate you get them, the closer you are with the trends. But fortunately or unfortunately, we are doing mostly shirts, jackets, pants. So we are not so what do you call that? Affected by the trends, by the fashion. We're only affected by the colors. So half the job is we don't have to do the other half of the job. But having said that, we in our products or in our collection, we have to constantly source for new designs, new patterns, or think about new design, new patterns to a shirt. But probably, a shirt is a shirt, yeah. But we need to innovate with a lot of detailings, and these kind of detailings may not be tied to what you see in the catwalk in Paris or Milan. But still, the customer will want to see something that is different in every collection. So we try to get a color right, and we put in our ideas, we put in our, we want to play with our designs. That's what we do.
From your observation, right, for cars, for instance, what is the most preferred or the most popular color for 2014?
2014.
Yeah, this year.
For cars. For cars, the most popular color, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014 is white. Because we do shirt. Okay? Yeah. But having said that, we do have our signature pieces. Okay, I think 2013 was, 2012 was an orange, yeah. But this year we are doing something that is turquoise. So our signature pieces will have something to do with turquoise. But having said that, it's beautiful to look at, but still the white outsells the turquoise. Yeah.
Last, what's your prediction for 2015? Please don't say white.
Prediction for 2015.
Yeah. To be the popular color for 2015.
Okay, 2015. I heard my creative director say it's grey. And trust me, grey shirt never sells.
All right. Thanks, Steve. If you can jump to Hugh. So yeah, what about fashion and moda? How do you find out what's the next trend to satisfy market desire?
That's the thing, right? None of us actually went to fashion school. So I think it's all sort of boils down to like research. I mean, we're always very connected, and I think that's one thing I feel like Malaysians, all of us are actually stuck in this bubble, that everyone's just looking at like what's the next guy is doing beside you. And I actually relate this story back to a friend which I know is a skateboarder. Back in Miri, he sort of grew up, and for him, right, like all the KL boys, they're all like looking up like Joe Ipo and all these boys, like, I mean, they were like the best, or they are still the best. And you always tend to sort of look at what the next guy's doing, and just say if Joe Ipo is doing this trick, everyone's doing that trick. My friend had nobody to look up to. He only had to look up to all these US pro skateboarders, and he was like, dude, this guy can jump like 10 stairs, I can jump 10 stairs. And I think that's a sort of mentality that a lot of people have. So I think it's super important, especially now with like the internet, you can actually research. I mean, for myself, I would encourage everyone to travel as much as they can. I mean, I get a lot of inspiration normally when I'm doing the silliest things, whatever, just like driving. Or like when I'm traveling, I see something like, oh crap, we should do something like this. And then from there, I just get really excited and then like tell the rest of the boys like, oh my goodness, And so for us, a lot of times, it's of course through like we had how many collections already? Quite a bit. I mean, we've been around now almost coming to 5 years. Of course, we tend to go back to the same sort of silhouettes. I mean, t-shirts, everyday wear. We got our raglans. We're trying some new stuff now. So we've got some cut and sew pieces with like sports cuffs. It's always like back to basics at the same point in time, trying new things. So we try to add in a few sort of new representations of what we see. So we might sort of see like another US label sort of having something. We try to say, okay, why don't we sort of change it like this, or like add this to it. I think that's a lot of times how we sort of do it. Yeah.
All right, thanks you. And what about you, Teguh Syami?
I think it's important to be in the know, because for us, we're still a startup. So we're still a small team. Our team consists of me, my business partner, and another friend, colleague who handles PR and legal as well. So it's just the three of us juggling a lot of other different things within the company and the brand. So it's very important for me to feed off each other amongst our teammates as well. So we get the right information. Like for me, I handle the product, everything that has to do with the product, and also PR at the same time. So we kind of share information a lot of what's going on now, and also to surround yourself with friends that are in other industries. Just have an open mind and just observe and how you can reflect that to your products as well and make it your own. Because I think even if you can't travel, yes, I have to agree with Hugh that traveling is a huge inspiration, for your creativity, or for to flow your creative juice. It's nice that you can get a holiday, but sometimes I can't. So what's nice is to just ask people around, be in the know your customers, and then how you can make your products better. Because I think that's the most important thing. You reflect to yourself and then reflect back to your customers.
All right. Before I jump to the next question, which is gonna touch a little bit on branding, do we have any questions from the floor? Probably, if we can get one random question, going once, going twice. Okay, all mine. So let's talk a little bit about branding. So we know Malaysians, like any other Asians, are brand conscious. So how do you develop your brand name and status to get people buy your clothes instead of other imported brands that are out there in the market? Steve?
No doubt, being Asians, we are quite brand conscious, but I believe the Malaysian market has matured enough that consumers are not only looking at big brand names, they are also looking at designs, quality, and innovation. So yes, you get that I mean, we are operating in a market that is actually very different from luxury brand. So okay, in our segment of the markets, we have also overseas players that are, of course, the brands are more they're more well known than us. So how do we stand out, or how do we compete, or how do we build our brand amongst all these larger brands? Firstly, we have to actually create a value proposition for our clients. What can they get from us, from cuffs, that they can't get from other brands? So once you can actually introduce that to the market, and the client agrees with you that your products, your collections have a certain differentiation factors, or different from the major brands, and they like it, they would of course be a loyal customer. They would of course be appreciative of your collection. So just to be differentiate yourself. Do not go head on with the big boys, and you either compete them with innovation, compete with them via pricing, and even service, customer service, and that's how we build our brand. And also the lifestyle that you try to create, or the lifestyle that you try to exude via your brand. Okay, we have the big boys. They have no lifestyle. They just tell you things that's $79.90, and they tell you that is what's currently in trend. Okay, namely a few big boys in town. So we are different. We create a lifestyle. We are part of a lifestyle.
All right, thanks. For Sir, Tempatan Fest. So you mentioned earlier during your presentation a huge number of turnouts during Tempatan Fest. So again, t-shirts, local t-shirts. When we all know for a fact there are so many other options out there, imported brands, or from department stores. From your observation, from your experience, how did you manage to develop Tempatan Fest as a brand that pulls all these local designers and attract local buyers to buy these homegrown products?
Okay, the most important thing that our strength, that I think that we have some strength on design. We rotate the design like it's like 100 design for a couple of weeks. I think that's our strength, because we have a pool of designers in Malaysia that emerge suddenly. Suddenly, hundreds of them, they have the motivation to do new design every day. That's the strength that I think that's happening in these 2 years. We are trying very hard to make them design every day, create new logo, create new something, which is like, I don't think that like 5 years ago that doesn't actually happen. So for us, we really we want to make these all these young designers very motivated, very inspired to do something new every day, every day. Not like you have to wait for 1 year, to do another design. No, do it next day. That's actually excite people. Because they see for every Teparan Fest there will be like hundred of new design, which is like we are trying to get. Don't get to put into one kind of design, but experiment it. Be creative. Do what do you think of good for yourself, for the country, for the creative industry. So I think that's the thing that we are quite strong, because we have so many options, so many designers, so many talent. That's what we are trying to do. We take pool of designers, pool of talents, which is like we really believe that Malaysia is so full of talent. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't seem like they believe in it. Do you believe in it?
Yeah, that's what we believe in. We believe in Malaysia, local talent, Malaysian talent. So we are trying to drive them, to make a career every time, every minute of if you have time. That's my answer. Yep.
Thanks, sir. So for Tunku Shami,
Well, for T-Shabi, to differentiate for like the brand conscious and how we break through from the local market, right, from the existing international brands. Well, for us, it was it's more of trial and error also. It's because it's really important for me, I think, that you know what your product is all about and what market segment that you're targeting, and know your customers and what they buy, where they shop, all the information that you can find and you can learn and absorb and observe, and then that way you can narrow it down to which segment market that you want to master and conquer locally. And then probably that way, if you know your product inside and out, then you can find another creative solution way to market your products differently and make it localized and culturalized to your local market here. So yeah.
all right, thanks. So Hugh, for Passion and Moda,
Of course, branding is like super important. I think getting to know your customer and stuff, and that's why we actually do like Pastel and Moda itself. Like, yeah, even though we sell clothes, but it's not so much that we actually sell a lifestyle. That is why we do so many parties. That is why I get down and dirty at the store, speak to customers, because everyone wants to see what's happening behind the scenes. Yeah, okay, so what? This T-shirt, but people actually want to see how many hours went behind it, who worked on it, that sort of thing. So when we actually first had that store that I showed you just now, right? Because I'm an architect as well, I sort of designed the store to sort of have the showroom, and then you can see the working spaces behind. So for a lot of times, people say, oh, you come with a T-shirt, oh, it took you 5 minutes. Yeah, okay, maybe some of them did. But for a lot of them as well, it's so much work behind it. As I said, we are a team of now 15 people in the HQ, and everyone really sort of works their ass off. And even myself, but the best part about it is that all of us love doing it, and I think that's the best bit about it, even though it's super tiring. And when it comes to branding, yeah, we try to set ourselves apart. Of course, that's number one. But at the same point of time, there's so many new local brands coming up, right? So of course, for ourselves, it's always trying to upgrade ourselves. Maybe when we first
be ahead probably.
Yeah. We really try to be ahead. So doing crazier parties. Next one we said, okay, we gotta top this. We gotta do something else. So we try to set a trend maybe in the market. That's what we aspire to do, and I hope we're doing it. So yeah.
If I can add though, I think there's something. This is a nice way, I guess, to start pondering and wondering if you want to break through the local market and comparing with the international brands, right? If the international brands are already thinking ahead and thinking globally, why shouldn't we for our own products, even though we are just trying to master our local markets? So that's a nice start to think of how we can find a creative solution to be on par as the international brands on how they market their products and distribute their branding and brand power.
Thanks, very insightful. So, my next question goes to Steve and also Hugh. If you can start with Hugh. So, getting your brands noticed by customers is one thing, but how can small businesses, I think for instance, each of you guys, when you guys first started off, how can small businesses get their brands noticed and get into department stores? Because I noticed that you guys managed to get a place in some of the biggest, some of the renowned department stores in town.
Well, first up is thanks to these guys right here. Platforms, platforms to showcase your work. Without these guys, like none of us, to be serious, like the local scene wouldn't even be there for like streetwear. I mean, for us, we were really lucky. We came into the market. Well, I would say, I was really happy with. It was a really good timing, I would say. But for us, we actually started a company with 5,000 ringgit. We came up with like 100 t-shirts. We said, okay, you know what? Let's test the market. We went to Urbanscapes 2010. We actually spent money on our packaging. It would look like pizza boxes. Everyone came to our store thinking they actually wanted to buy pizza. So, that was that factor which actually brought people there. When they found out when they actually found out it was like we were actually selling t-shirts, they were upset. But you know what? Since I'm here anyway, I'll just buy a t-shirt. And we actually almost sold out. We sold like 80% of our stuff on that day. I think that was a big gave us like heaps of morale. I said, you know what? I think we can do this. So, and I think now, of course, with the internet as well, I think Malaysia is still a little bit not quite there yet when it comes to like e-commerce. I think not many people out there actually are very comfortable with like online banking, but I think it's just a matter of time. So we started off our e-commerce store as well, and we rely on that very heavily because brick and mortar is just absolutely crazy. So don't go there. I'm sure you know.
All right, thanks, Hugh. What about you, Steve?
We got into a departmental store. At first we didn't. We started our own shop. So when you have something exciting going on, when they know that the brand is well received, the departmental store will come knocking on your door, or even if you knock on theirs, they will be more than happy to see you. But having said that, we have been in multiple departmental stores, but be very selective of the departmental store target market has to be very compatible with yours. Okay, and unfortunately, the Malaysian departmental store model, I would say not all of it, most of it is just a bargain hunting ground, right? So, and for us, we only want to be seen in certain department store, or we only do well in certain department store. So, if you're starting off a brand, that you have to look into this aspect as well, whether their clients are actually compatible with your target market. So that's most important.
All right, thanks. Before I head down to the next questions, any questions from the floor?
Not yet.
Not yet. Everyone's still getting. Oh, okay, we have one.
I think I can just shout it out. Just a quick
Wow,
one.
man, I walk all the way here.
Anyway, I was at Robinson's just this weekend, so I saw cups. So what made you decide that Robinson's were the right target market for cups?
Because Robinson, as you can see, their target segment is very similar with us. And what made us think is the right place? At the end of the day, is the numbers and cents, right? At the number and cents, whatever that you do, however much that you do there, will let you know whether you should hang on, you should continue, or you should demand a bigger space from the departmental stores. And they are also, it's actually a two-way relationship. You have to do very well in the departmental store as well, otherwise you are just wasting their space. Yeah.
All right. So this one goes to Tisha B first. consumers today researches online or on your mobile devices, right? And very often it leads to your purchase decision. So how does your company or your brand uses this online or mobile platform to engage with your customers?
Well, for us, we totally take advantage of social media since it's still free. We engage with our consumers and our clients and our customers through Instagram and Facebook and also via emails. So we are currently working on our own website with our own e-store. Hopefully it will be up and running by next year's release of our 8/15 collection. And we totally take advantage of social media by push our products by uploading lots of product photos and also just sharing as much as we can on our day-to-day basis, because it's social media is very instant news, current, so it's instant updates of what's been going on behind the scenes. Because for us, it's been a tough 2 years, I guess, for us to start and be consistent in terms of our products. So there's been a lot of gaps of quiet, and then there's products and then there's quiet back again. So instead of just focusing fully on our products, we try to be more relatable to our customers and just be real, not just in terms of a corporate company of a brand, but also in terms of socially as well, of activities that we do every day and what we associate our brand with and our brand image as well. So,
All right. And Sir, what about you? How do you make use of social media to get it right?
We start with social media. We start the business with social media online. So it's very, very important to us. So we try to engage how we attack the heart. We attack their heart. We have to engage with them personally, answer their question, whatever that we have time, make jokes with them. Even though that I was inspired by Johnny Cupcakes. You know Johnny Cupcakes. He even had coffee with their customers or online friends. We try to do that. We try to engage them with a long-term relationship. A very personal one. We try to talk to them, ask them. Even online, even if we have chance to meet them personally, we talk to them, make friends with them. So the market is like, you have them, man. Yeah. So online is very important to us, very, very important. And at the same time, that can bring to retail shops, physical. I think online is just the same as physical store. Yeah.
All right, thanks. Now, for you, Hugh, for Person and Motor, okay, we know you guys actively are active on social media platform, but what I would like you to share with this is I recall you guys did this cyber sale.
Oh yeah, Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Yeah.
Yeah. So because earlier you also mentioned like how skeptical Malaysian shoppers are to make purchase online, and correct me if I'm wrong, the whole idea behind that Black Friday sale is everybody goes to one venue, but instead of purchasing it offline, you actually make the purchase online. Is that correct?
Yes and no. It's just solely an online sale. So like Black Friday is a very American thing. I think that's like comes down to branding again. How do you want your brand perception to be like? And that's the thing, like what Shami said as well. Not only looking at Malaysians, but why can't I sell Pestle and Moda to overseas customers? Everyone's having a Black Friday sale overseas. Like tons of people go shopping. All the guys in the office just go crazy. So we said, you know what? Let's sort of do that. And I think by associating ourselves with that sort of culture as well, in a way, we're able to not only like cater to like the local market, but on top of that, people outside of Malaysia. So yeah, we did a crazy sale, and it was absolutely crazy. So that was really good.
All right, and I also came across this that you guys opened your first out of Klang Valley store, which is in Malacca, right? The shop.
Well, that one, yeah, it is. It's just a counter in Tangs. But the only reason I did it was to get into Singapore. We did a barter trade. Well, hopefully. But yeah, in Malacca as well. I mean, we are looking at expansion outside of Klang Valley. We get a lot of orders from up north, Penang. So I think Penang's a great place, you know, with its heritage and the cold coffee scene and art scene as well. I think, yeah, Penang is going to be amazing in the next few years. So we are looking at Penang and also down south. Yeah.
All right. And sorry, last. Earlier in your presentation, you mentioned something about major drop. So if you can share with us what's the whole idea behind this major drop?
Yeah. Myself and a lot of guys growing up in Australia, I mean, we were exposed to a lot of international brands. And I think, you know, I noticed when we sort of came back here that a lot of my friends, they were actually buying stuff from like Hypebeast, which is like a international online store, or from like ASOS and all these sort of things, you know. And I guess it kind of gets frustrating from time to time where, you know, you wish you had actually access to a lot of these brands that you really look up to. So for us, we actually saw that market space. And we said, you know what, everyone's doing like a multi-brand, local clothing store. But no one's really, I mean, there are a few, of course, but you know, there are so many brands that I sort of knew of and I really wanted to sort of introduce to Malaysians itself. So for Major Drop, we carry, as I said, around 60 plus international brands. We're really looking at not only for Major Drop to be catered towards Malaysians, but actually Southeast Asia. Because, you know, it comes to like an online sort of presence as well. You know, you pretty much can cater to everyone, right? The whole wide world. So it's not like a brick and mortar store. But that being said, right, for Major Drop, we actually have a physical store because, you know, it's sort of like an omni business where we use like the store to like push like the lifestyle, push like events, push like the people behind it. And then after that, we direct everyone to like the e-commerce store where, of course, overheads are a lot less. And yeah, you can put like heaps of product, you know, whereas like a brick and mortar, you only can fit a certain amount of products. So for that one, we are, of course, aspiring to become Southeast Asia's biggest multi-brand streetwear lifestyle store. And it's been 5 months now. So we got a crazy sale happening right now. I'm just going to plug this in. So if you guys into like Billionaire Boys Club and all these other brands, now's the best time.
All right, thanks. So next, for SEIR, Tempatan Fest, a touring festival of Malaysian independent clothing. Yeah. From your observation, do you think the market for t-shirt is overcrowded?
No. Okay, what I always told the boys, most of our boys, okay, what you have seen, if you go to a certain mall, okay, let's go to, okay, IOI City Mall, you just see around you how many people actually wear local t-shirt. Here, how many of you wear local t-shirt? Everyone here is wearing, I don't know, only us maybe we are wearing ours. So, that's the answer.
All right. Sorry, there's another question for you, sir. So, do you agree that businesses specializing only in t-shirts are not sustainable because you need to diversify, you need to create an apparel line?
Definitely. You have to expand. It's not t-shirt, but t-shirt is so big, the market is too big that we are not tapping it well good enough yet. There's so many potential of this t-shirt. Right, you?
Yeah.
Seriously. I want everyone next round, next time, all of you wear local t-shirt. Of course I want it. That's our vision, that's our mission, that's our, you know, what we are fighting for. So we want everyone to wear local. Keep it local, man.
Nice. All right. T Shami. So for T Shami, you recently were shortlisted for Fashion Pitch. Probably you can share with us some of your key learning, key experiences.
Basically, My Creative is a private company, but it's linked to a government agency. So their task is to distribute a certain amount of loan, not grants, to creative companies, creative startup companies. So they always do competitions to give out these loans. So what we did was, it was the second year of this so-called fashion pitch. So we participated. We were shortlisted, and then we had to do a pitching session in front of this panel of judges. So there were people from finance and people from the industry. So we had to do a full presentation of what our business and what our company is all about, pitching for. And the fashion pitch, the loan goes up to 2 million ringgit. So yeah, that's a lot, man, for a startup to expand your company, right? To move forward. And so it was quite a heavy experience also for me. First time experience to pitch seriously about my business and about. So I think the most important thing is to have a really good team, because I think it's impossible for anyone to have a fashion business and to do it alone and be successful at it. I think that's definitely impossible. So have a good team. Second is to know your product and your business inside and out, and your target markets, and as well as to to know your target market and to basically know your finance. It has to be realistically viable to your business and your products and what you're selling as well.
All right. So you were just shortlisted for a fashion pitch. Like Tishami is a fashion label concentrating on accessible luxury ready to wear. Given the niche of your target,
Yes.
what's your strategy for business sustainability?
It goes back to the team, I think, because even if your product is so good, and if you really run your business just by yourself, then there's no extra input, or people bringing you back to the ground and analyzing everything else. Besides having that second eye, I think is really important. So that's why I think it doesn't have to be a big team. It just has to be a really trusted team that shares the same passion and same values for your company and heading towards the same direction. And it's also about being in a startup business. It's also about learning about yourself and to grow as a person in terms of business as well, and creatively as well. So,
All right. So next question goes to Steve. So Steve, Cuffs carries the reputation of being the biggest collection of cufflinks in the world, including their novelty range right up to limited editions, handcrafted from the finest precious stones and metals. Simple question: how did you achieve that?
Before we started the brand, we actually did 1 year of research, a very thorough research. We have already identified what we want to do, what type of products, what type of collection. So do your research. Then you have to travel the world, and you need to partner with people that can actually bring all this vision into a collection, into a product. So yes, we design, and also we work with a lot of jewelers and jewelry makers to actually come up with this tremendous range of cufflinks.
All right, thanks. So I'm gonna throw my last question before we open up the floor for Q&A. So hang in there. Last question goes out to each of you. What's your exit strategy if all fails? Touch wood, of course. Who wants to go first?
Exit strategy, as in what sense?
Meaning if your business doesn't sustain, so how do you make a safe? What's your exit strategy? Your clean exit strategy?
If the business doesn't sustain, I guess we have to close shop. But the exit strategy that you are looking at, that I understood, or I actually want to stress on, is more of how do you bring. When we do a brand, or when we do a retail brand, we just keep on working and working. We plow back our investments to new shops, And how do you, the exit strategy from a finance viewpoint is, how do you actually exit from the company to have a retirement fund in short? Okay. Yes, we are small. In Malaysia, we have a lot of small and very successful brands, but they do not have, on its own, they do not have any certain value. So you just draw a salary, and then whatever you earn, you put it back into expansion. So my exit strategy is actually, yes, I want to retire at a certain age, but for our size, it's difficult to bring a business to listing. So it's either you plow in more and get more stores, or actually recombine ourselves. I think Malaysian SME retailers should actually combine, should actually merge, and to become a bigger entity, to realize a lot of synergies in terms of procurement, in terms of distribution, and in terms of bargaining power with the departmental stores and even the shopping centers for better rent. So we should actually merge to get a bigger size, and then everybody, I mean, with this big, larger entity, a multi-brand entity, that's we can actually list it, and on the stock market, or wholesale it off to another bigger group, like what Charles and Keith did. Yeah.
Well, for me, because we're still a small company, small brand.
Not even thinking about it.
Kalau boleh tak nak jadi kan, lari from it, right? What exit plan? It's not gonna end. No. What I'm trying to say is, for me, it's business, right? Sebenarnya, at the end of the day. So it's a high risk thing that you're doing if you're in business. So, yalah, kalau Tuhan nak tunjuk, orang cakap kan, just boleh tarik macam tu je, even how successful you are. But I think for me, it's always been a learning journey. It's always about knowing more, self-discovering about yourself, going through business, because it's not easy. It takes a lot of your time, your attention, and your family time, or whatever, your social life, or sometimes, social life. So it's always nice to always be positive, even though how bad the circumstances and situation might be. So it helps to always be positive and always reflect back and always try to be better. So probably if it all fails, touch wood, it's always, we can always plan better next time.
Okay, what about you, Sid?
Hugh said, I never thought of it. Yeah, until you just mentioned this. Yes, yeah. Because what I see is actually progression. How to be bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, until you really take the world. That's how. And then the thing is like infinity, man. The space is like no borders. Tak ada sepadan. You can go like even America send someone to the Mars, and then beyond. We have to go beyond that. We don't think about any exit. We have to fight.
Can I add something? Sure. Because actually being in fashion, it's actually, because my mom has been like bickering on my ears ever since when I wanted to do fashion. But it's all about experience, and actually it is true. It's all about experience. What you went through, what you did before in the industry or not, is how you make it into your own, and what you adapt to, and what you learn from it, basically. So, yeah.
All right. Do you have anything to add, Hugh?
Well, when we first started off, I still remember my dad sort of pulling me aside and saying, "Hey Hugh, what are you gonna do with all these 500 t-shirts if you guys can't sell?" I said, "I'll sell it to your brothers." I got a lot of uncles, so I said, you know what, we got a lot of Christmas presents. So I did think about it, or more like he made me think about it. So that was, I guess it's important. For us, Pastel and Moda, of course, it's what Teguh Syabi said, touch wood as well. But to be serious, right, when it comes to like fashion as well, if you're planning to be like super, super rich, I don't think it's for you, lah. If something, I do it because I enjoy it, but at the same point of time, like, you know, where the actual money is mass market, like H&M, like Topshop. You know, that's where that's where the cash is. I mean, for us, we don't want to sort of like oversaturate the market, like pastel moda every corner. That's always going to be like a portfolio, our baby. If anything, I think Major Drop's the one where, yeah, potentially make his big bucks, hopefully. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So, and now I would like to open up the floor for Q&A. If we have any, oh, we have one there. Let me start from this first. Okay, ladies first.
Thank you so much. For sale, my question is, what is your forecast of the bazaar and festival platform for 2015, taking into account our economic situations being provided for Atlas or next year? Thank you.
Okay, for bazaar or open market industries, I think for the bazaar itself, for the festival itself, if they don't improve, they won't go anywhere. You know, we have to improve certain extent that it's not, we call it a pasar malam anymore. If you start with a pasar malam style, then you have to go to the trade. Our vision for the Badan Fest, what we want to go is more into trade exhibitions, like agenda show. We want to do that kind of shows. We want to do Southeast Asia. We already done one South Asia last year, and next year we want to do another one. So whatever the market is, actually, everyone have to improve. Everyone have to improve on infrastructure. We work before the first year it might be very hot if you come to Baran. Next year we will try to get a market there with air condition. That's what we want to do. You don't want to stay like hot, you know. But we try to keep the crowd. You want to get a bigger crowd, you know, from overseas, from space. Yeah, that's my answer.
All right, thanks. And we have a second question, yeah?
Hi, good evening, guys. Really awesome talks and presentations by everybody. I'm from brand eating. My name is Silmi. So we work with emerging brands as well. So here's a question, because you've talked a lot about all what you've done, and brand building is very important. And I hope I can get an answer from everybody. What has been the biggest and or most important mistake that you guys have made in your journey?
Thank you, Injing. Well, the biggest mistake we would have made is actually coming out with a collection that was not as successful as we would have liked it to be. And but having said that, actually a few major mistakes. I'll give you two. Okay. So one of it is that we have to be, we have to be so in touch. Sometimes we like to innovate. We go with our, as we go with our feelings and the way we see that the market is. But sometimes with a lot of, cars have the benefits of years of records. So we should actually look into the data, and if the data tells you that certain items are actually doing better than the other items, I think we should actually not let our creative mind go way off course. So, and that is one of the major mistakes that we made, because in fashion retail you plan ahead 6 months, 8 months, and then when the item comes, you can't actually correct your mistake. That is your fall collection, and if it doesn't move, it doesn't move. You can't call up the factory and say, hey, no, I want to correct my mistake and get me another shipment in next week. Impossible. So that is one. And secondly is also Location is very important, especially location, and when we talk about location, it's about rental and the surrounding areas and everything that falls under the location. So that you have to get it very right. And if you open an outlet in the wrong location, not only you've just signed yourself up for 2 years of debt rental payment, and then that will be very it's a grave mistake for my business at least. Yeah.
Our biggest mistake was not getting a partner. Our biggest mistake was not getting a partner who had an IT, who had programming background. I think that's something where we're really sort of regretting now, or where it is an area that we're actually suffering, because I mean, first of all, like a lot of web developers, like SEM, SEOs, I mean, those guys charge heaps of money. So like, seriously, if we had one of those guys within the company, I think that would have been awesome. Yeah, but that's one. The second part is none of us, before Mark came on board, had any finance background. And we had no structure whatsoever. Mark, my brother Mark, he's actually a financial planner, and he's joined Pastel Moda 2 years back. And he used to ask us, hey, you guys making money or what? We're like, here, take a look at our buku leja. And he's like, oh my god, like, what is this? We're like, well, I think we're doing okay, you know? So as soon as he came on board, that's where we actually really saw like structure and like finance. And I think that's like super important in like every business. At the end of the day, it really boils down to the cash. You don't have cash, you can't have parties. You don't have cash, you can't make stuff. So, you know, cash is very important. And maybe you should have brought on board earlier. Maybe it could be a lot bigger. I don't know.
Well, for me, I guess there was a lot of mistakes, but it's a learning process. So what we did, one of the first mistakes was for my business partner Natalie to give me the creative freedom to do whatever I want for the first collection that we produced, which was a really huge mistake because it's a lot of money for production. Because one of our issues as a startup, as a fashion ready-to-wear brand, is funding for production. So because production, we have to plan ahead 2-3 months before, and have to make sure by the time it arrives, everything will sell, and everything will run smoothly. So that was the biggest first hurdle, I guess, for us as a startup. So because creativity, my business partner had a good point. Why limit your creativity when you can just do whatever you want? It's your company, but it actually doesn't work that way, sadly. So it's always good. That's why what we always do is we feed off each other ideas and always review back. Because I guess I'm a realist and she is also a realist. So we always have our, when I'm sketching or getting ideas for designs, I just go, see what other options that I have and what we should do, and then from there on we edit it back. So every person of the team is part of it somehow, has their comments and what will work, what doesn't work. So because for me, I think for designers nowadays, one of our main purpose is to simplify things. So that's what we are doing with Tishami also. So that was also what we learned from our first mistake.
Sid?
Okay, actually I don't know how to answer that question, seriously, because I try to figure out what is our mistakes, but actually it's my mistakes. During 10 years ago I started a shop, opened a shop, like my colleague said, locations, because at that time we are young, very young, doesn't know anything about business. The location, even though that is cheap, the rental is cheap, but the location still doesn't help you at all. So what I think of that after that the shop, maybe close the shop, I have to get some knowledge. Mistakes can be cured by knowledge. You have to read a lot of books, watch a lot of movies. You know, you can learn a lot of stuff from movies. Business, you can watch like Facebook, social media. They can learn something from there. You can learn from Mark Zuckerberg mistakes. I don't know what are my mistakes, but for every mistake that we had, actually, we tried to point out someone else's mistake that maybe is about skepticism. We are rejoice on that, lah. Yeah, that's my answer.
Sorry, yeah, I've been adding on a lot, so. Well, basically, from our first mistake, right, I forgot to mention how we moved on from, from my business partner giving me all the creative freedom to produce, design whatever I want, which is then we worked on the next collection, which was the Raya collection. So from the first, full sales report from Fashion Valley and from other websites that we stocked at that time. So it was obvious that our design direction is a no-go currently. So we had to be, I guess, the realisticness of the both of us somehow, I guess, merge or meet somewhere in the middle, because we realized that we are actually not catering to the market, to what people actually are buying. So it's actually really important to, I guess, to know what people are buying and adding your touch and your design aesthetic to it, and make it into your own. And be proud of it, because everybody's doing the same thing. It's just like how you make it your own. That's the unique selling point.
Alright, yeah, we have another question.
Can you share with us that how is your cost of production versus your marketing cost, to how many percentage of it, and your ideal percentage of the cost? Maybe you think that you should cut down your production cost or up your marketing cost. Just would like to hear from you for the costing side.
Well, for T-Shami, funding for production has always been a problem, but we are lucky enough that we managed to find a factory in China that produces small quantities, not large quantities, and we were lucky, even more lucky, that they actually produce really good quality products. So in terms of your questions, you were asking about in terms of the cost percentage, right, with production and marketing, yes? Well, we definitely leverage more on marketing and also equally with production, because it's more about budgeting your budget for each collection as well. Because for us as a startup, we are short of the luxury of funds to just disperse and do as many as we want. So what we always do is we know where to place our products and which target markets that we're going to penetrate into, and then for our Raya collection, for our first collection, we produced a really small quantity just to be safe, to try it out, how the sales and people's reaction and customer reactions to our products. I'm sorry, I hope I answered your question.
For cars, production cost doesn't really come into play, because we are always seeking the best production facility to produce for us. And we are not H&M and Uniqlo, where they buy things by tens and thousands of pieces, where every dollar they save is actually it sums up to a big amount. So for us, we want to give the best to the customer, and the people we deal with. Yes, you can cut. You can push their prices, and then they start cutting corners, and then it stop being consistent. This is not what we want, because I think the damage that they do, it's much more than what we can save from production costs. Well, in the industry, on your question about the marketing costs, the big boys are spending anything from 3 to 5% of their revenue on marketing. But that again doesn't apply to my company, because we are a very niche product. We do not cater. Our products are not right for everyone, and hence with the event of social media and the internet, so we can do a lot of guerrilla marketing, and we only spend on where we believe the eyeballs of our target markets are. So by having said that, we are also spending about 2%. 1 to 2% is below market average of our revenue on marketing activities.
Well, I actually thought it was 10%. No more.
That's why you guys do so well. That's the secret, right?
For us, I think the same goes as well. Even though I always ask my brother Mark, the other partner, like, okay, how much money do we have to spend on marketing? Like, from what I heard, 10%. But for us, we do a lot of guerrilla style marketing, so we save a lot of money there. But I think if you really want to see like exponential growth, like I guess like I spoke about the trade show, like that's where I guess most of the money is going to go into. Like when we do a big party, that's where all the money goes into. Like I mean we have started spending some money on like Facebook ads, stuff like that. But besides that, nothing much, I guess. I think we just give. I guess it goes into like giving stuff out for free. People like that, or Malaysians like that. So maybe that's where all the cost sort of goes into. We do a lot of competitions, stuff like that, like social media competitions and stuff. And for our collection, we do anywhere from like 300 to 500 pieces per style. And what happens there, right? I mean, I remember like last year in December, I was like, okay, we're doing decent. Let's sort of up our numbers to get our so-called cost price lower. But even that being said, like 1,000 pieces, reduce it maybe 50 cents, something like that per piece. So it's not much. But so all my partners sort of told me, say, you know what, Hugh, just make to sell out. If it's finished, that's good, man. Just move on from there. If not, you can always sort of produce again. Because the last thing you want is to sort of sit on all this stock. So we always have this inside joke. Eddie always cracks. He's like, he sees one of my designs and he just makes fun or just pulls fun. It's like, looks like what's going to be sitting in the warehouse for the next like 6 months, stuff like that. So just make small numbers, test it out. If it's good, just make some more. Easy as that.
All right, thanks. We have another question, yeah?
Hi. I would like to ask Ko from Pesel Motor. I have 2 questions. So which platform sells better, the online shop or the physical shop? And my second question is, how do you handle the shipping for your online shop? Do you write the addresses of the recipients by hand, or do you use the printer, or do you use the special software given by the shipping company?
Yeah, okay. So your first question, I would say still brick and mortar. In Malaysia, it's still dominated by brick and mortar. That's why I think it's still important to have the store. But we are trying to transition a lot of our customers to a more e-commerce sort of platform. So by doing a lot more marketing campaigns with that. In terms of percentage, I would say at least 60% of our sales still come from our brick and mortars and 40% online. But we're hoping there will be a shift probably in the next, 6 months as we concentrate heavily on like e-commerce, that sort of thing. In regards to your second question, we still write all our, that's why we have interns. We got an intern there, Roshan. This is nice handwriting. But yeah, we pretty much, we use 2 different logistic companies. We offer free shipping. Malaysia-wide. We will be offering free shipping to Singapore. We're looking at free shipping to Thailand. I mean, look at what Zalora is doing. Those are the big boys, right? So the good thing about it as well is that there's all these things happening around you that you can actually use them as precedents. And if they're doing it and they're still around doing so well, I mean, they must be doing something right. So we're looking at like COD as well. We're looking like, okay, what about 365-day return? Something like that. So it's always like, making your customer feel like his boss, like his king. We're always like, oh, I'm so sorry. We make mistakes as well, but it's always like going in and just calling them out and say, what, we're so sorry. I think they appreciate that. So, customer service is like number 1. Yeah.
All right, thanks. Do you have any more questions? Oh, okay. First, second, third, first.
Hi, my name is YQ. Hi. I currently run a business, bespoke tailor in Burlington Tailor, in Bangsa Shopping Center. So I introduced few customers to your shop as well. All right.
Thank you.
It's actually my family business. So I have some questions to you all. I don't know how to solve this. First, I have no sense of fashions. and I don't run this business, but I have to take care of this business because it's family and I have no sense of fashions. I have no sense of color, and I'm colorblind. So for tailor, it's very important. Like charcoal gray and gray is same to me. So okay, this is first thing. Second one, I want to ask like, do this kind like me, do I able to manage a fashions business? This is first question. Second one, I would like to ask Carl is like, because we are basically very same industry. We serve high-end exclusive, but how do you reach the marketplace? Like normally how customer reaches is by walk-in, and then by those word of mouth, and because most of our customer is like entrepreneur or royal, and then but I'm so sad to say that our database is so good, but they are all old. All the customer is like previous chairmen or CEO in the entrepreneur, but now their son take over and their son don't make business with us. Because what
Who do they go to? What?
normally they just go London. I mean this is what I saw because last time during their business time, it's not easy to travel. During nowadays, it's very easy to travel. If they want nice suits, they just travel out of the street. So I just wondering, how do we get the young entrepreneur or
Okay, I think there are a few questions in that. Firstly, to answer your question, you don't have to be fashionable or have an eye for fashion to run a fashion brand. All you need to do is hire somebody. I mean, none of us is good in everything. I mean, at least not me. So you got to hire or you get a partner that to actually compensate what you believe that you're lacking. That's all. That's I think that will answer question one. And of course, you want to get your customer. Yes, your customer have aged. And they do not need a suit anymore. They do not want to make a jacket anymore. They have retired. They're just playing golf all day. So what you need to do is actually to always reinvent yourself, reinvent your brand, so that then when the younger people can relate themselves to whatever lifestyle and brand message that you are trying to convey. That's my answer. I hope that will suffice. Yep.
It's very spot on, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good?
Okay.